It's time to clock in. Let's go to work. I don't need the iron to straighten them all. They be pressed that I won't fold. She say she need money, well I need a show. Silver lining, then I'm going for gold. I'm to 100, so I'm on go. Say that it's beef, I'm cutting it cold. Breaking news, the new nigga breaking in, and man, he stole the show. I had to level up. This a new chapter in life, man, I got my cheddar up. Tommy Guerrero, man, you boys ain't real enough. Y'all like Eddie, lie cheating still for petty crumbs. And I'm just like 619.
But I still got that shit by my side. Soon as niggas park, man, they gon' slide. That was simple, I got limits in life. No excuses, though I stayed on my feet. Street smart, so I never need cleats. Even when I had my back to the streets.
Yes,
never pretend about who I would be. I'm good in the hood, cause nigga, I'm me. And I know you think
Gay
that
world in the building.
But I swear that shit is more like a leash. We ain't tight no more, this shit that got fleece. Couldn't hang in the deep end, caprice. And when you see me keep it short, capiche. Even when they say they seasick, I don't see these niggas cause I still see my seeds. Versace lenses, man, they say I'm a geek.
I don't need the iron to straighten them all. They be pressed that I won't fold. She say she need money, well I need a show. Silver lining, then I'm going for gold. I'm to 100, so I'm on go. Say that it's beef, I'm cutting it cold. Breaking news, the new nigga breaking in, and man, he stole the show. I had to level up. This a new chapter in life, man, I got my cheddar up. Tommy Guerrero, man, you boys ain't real enough. Y'all like Eddie, lie cheating still for petty crumbs. And I'm just like 619.
I just sent them the account. They need to follow me.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi.
Just make sure they're following me. Hold on. I just sent it to him. Y'all stand by. We got a little technical difficulty. We're dealing with some things, getting our guests ready for the night. You hit him up? Yes, sir. You are in tune with Pop's Gems. Stand by. Technical difficulties. We just getting everything ready. Bear with us. Little J Iris playing in the background while we get things situated.
What's his name?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, true. Send a request to be in.
What is your point? I hit you back and you ignored it.
J Iris on the wheels of steel.
Hit me up when I start touring. Don't be lacking cause they plotting.
Said heads or tails.
Like a socket. It's the ones claim they rocking. But it's two sides to the coin. What is your point? I hit you back and you ignored it. Guess you busy acting foreign. Don't hit me up when I start touring. Don't be lacking cause they plotting. You'll get used like a socket. It's the ones claim they rocking. Now fake friends. Fake friends. I thought they beat.
I hear you. J Iris in the building.
Man, they slept in pajama pants.
They coming in?
When my dream works, I really man. Don't you hate when you got a vision and they don't see it too? Transparent, they see through. Speaking French like we who? Where was you at when I slept in the attic? So broke that I didn't have a basement. I was down, had my back to the pavement. Man, I definitely wasn't sunbathing. I was set to
you
go
sent them
back
anybody from my phone?
I'm a fireman, but trust, boy, you get your lollipop. I used to roll with niggas, now they roll with ops. I call them roly-poly, they whole life is
Naebella in the building.
Milk, pish, posh, give it to them pussies instead of trying to kill them. Reverse fireman, 119 the building. But it's two sides to the coin. What is your point? I hit you back and you ignore. And don't be lacking cause they plotting. You get used like a socket.
You brought Nay in?
It's the ones claim they rocking. But it's two sides to the coin. What is your point? I hit you back and you ignored it.
What it do? I'm waiting for my phone. There she is. Yeah, Nay in the building.
What's popping, DA?
Hold on, let the
How are
cameraman
you?
adjust that gem in the background. Give me some headroom, cameraman.
Plus a young nigga getting cake, so
Yeah, we gonna get it right.
but I ain't wearing no cake. That must be a mistake. She had tiger stripes on her ass cheeks, so I said, baby girl, they're great.
Yeah.
I got the master key and I got the lock. Everybody want a shot at the spot, but the spot come with shots. When you
Uh-oh, I see the other one in the building. The other half of the BnB crew.
Where there's one, the other's not far behind. I promise
You know,
I hit you back and you ignored it. Guess you busy acting foreign. Don't hit me up when I start touring. Don't be
There
lucky
you
cause they
go.
plotting. You get used like a socket. It's the ones when they rocking.
I hear him.
But it's too
There he is. Notorious.
Hey,
Yeah. All right. We got everything. Technology. IG, you can't mess with us tonight. I'm sorry.
you feel?
We just not gonna put up with it. But as usual, you know what they say, I do not control the rights to this music. But nevertheless, we must do what we gotta do.
You feel me? I
Let's
hear
get the
that.
show started.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
I'm liking that background.
Ah,
You know what I'm
that's for my
saying? You know
gemologist.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
liking the gems. Let's go, man. Let's go.
All right. But there we go.
A good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio.
There is nothing wrong.
No.
We have taken control
As to bring you this special show.
We will return it to you as soon as you are grooved.
Talk to him about Kim.
Hey,
Think of how many weeks shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you.
Hey.
that was dope. That was
Hey, what's
dope.
going on, y'all? It's
You know
Pops.
what
I
I'm
just wanted
saying?
to pop in real quick. Hey, play our words. Pops from Pops Gems. You know, coming up, we got Pops perspective.
Let's tell you what it is, tell you what it ain't.
Little Jay Reynolds in the building.
Hey,
Yes, yes, yes.
That's the vocals on
Yeah.
that track.
Hey, man, listen. She go dummy. She go dummy.
Yeah, he gon' drop them gems.
Hey.
You know he really him. It's something about his confidence that lets you know he hadn't seen.
You don't want to miss. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Pops Perspective,
go.
Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey, man. Say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Pops. This Pops Gems, we keeping it on the cutting edge. I done came out the vault and broke out the diamonds for my gemologist. That's what I'm naming all my followers, gemologists, because
go.
they what? They
Like
look
that.
for
I like that.
gems. I'm trying to tell
I
you.
like that, though.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as always, before we get in, we got to give shout out to God. Without him, none of this would be possible.
That's a fact.
Definitely giving all praises to the Most High. And to our sponsors, finally got my cameraman back.
Hey,
Shout out to Lefty.
let's
Shout out
go.
to Exotic Pops.
Yo,
Y'all, if
What's
you
going
missed it,
down?
Blunts
You
and
know what I'm
Bonnets
saying?
had them on there. Go back, watch the show.
Come
Exotic
on
Pops,
now.
they done expanded. They went from popping snacks on 4119 South Orange Blossom Trail to also include popping snacks at 5311 East Colonial Drive. So we on
go.
both ends of the spectrum.
Let's go.
Catch them when you can. Tell them Papa sent you for an exotic pop.
Hey,
Of
baby,
course, the
good.
Shanti's still holding it down in Mount Dora. They're at
Come on
44
now.
County Road, 19A, Suite A, B, and C. So everybody's growing. Everybody's expanding. Shout out to them.
Let's
Shout out to
go.
them. And then
Salute, y'all.
I gotta do a special shout out. It's an announcement / shout out to Seasons, All Seasons, who is Create the Panic, you know him with the pins. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Pops Gems pins on the way.
Let's go.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Merch?
That's right.
You
That's
got
right. We
merch
coming out.
Or for the
Yeah, we
gemology.
got some pins
I'm
coming.
at the
Yes,
top. I'm
sir.
at the
For
top end there.
all my
I'm at the top
gemologists,
end
all my
there.
day ones.
Okay.
We definitely putting it down. We, like I said,
Already.
we growing, we expanding. We got the diamonds in the background. So we
Already.
definitely
I like that.
keep elevating. What my boy say, constant expansion.
Come on.
Say constant elevation causes expansion. I write my rhymes while I cool in my mansion. That's what
Come
my
on now.
Rakim said.
Come on
Jay
now.
Iris, you heard him in the theme song. My son had him on here. He's still rocking it. And the pin's not the only thing coming out. Shout out to Lakai Holmes. We got another candle in the works. Y'all get ready for Pop Jam's candle.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, we creating a brand with this thing. We making this thing go. And then of course to all of my followers who are from this day on, today is the 13th of May. You are no longer followers, but you are now gemologists. To all my gemologists that tune in week after week to get these gems that God has put on my mind and my heart as we drop them, of course, with all my guests, my host and co-host, and they dropping gems. So this is where you can pick up all of your gems. Call it Mother Africa. You'll catch that in a minute.
Already.
All right. And then, of course, let's get this done so we can move on. And my brother's keeper, play somebody on your mind. Just 10 seconds. I want you to send them some positive vibes, some positive energy. That way, you never know. That might be the only prayer they receive for the whole day. Count off with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, amen. And you know, it's funny when you count down like that, because sometimes you think you're gonna mess up. You be checking. Okay, wait, what come next? That's get older. You ain't doing it now. Keep waking up in the morning. But nevertheless, we are here. We are here. We are here. We got let me lay the preface down. To present to some and introduce to others, one half of the BnB Crew, better known as Notorious True. You know him. I call him True. He's one of the original.
Triple OG. He's OG. You know
OG. Matter of fact, as the story unfolds, I'm gonna tell y'all something. But extraordinary in his own right, model, single dad. Host of the BnB show, guest host on other shows. I present to you my boy, Notorious True in the building. Put your hands together for them. Put 100s in the comment. You see them
already, man. Mogul energy, man. Mogul energy.
Yes, sir. And then of course the prettier half, the better looking half. You know. The yin to the yang, the other half of the BnB Crew. Her and I, we got a history, and I mean this platonically. Y'all don't start no SH, won't be no IT. But we got a history, and of course, she I met her through Blunts and Bonnets, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But a model extraordinaire in her own right, beautiful soul, coming out of her shell. For those of you who know her now, those of you that have been following Blunts and Bonnets, you've seen her evolve in from a corner shadow space to full force, taking over, running the show, doing different things. Naebella in the building. Y'all clap it up for the BnB Crew in the house.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
What? I feel like singing that song, Reunited.
We're in there. Oh yeah, I can't forget to mention, another piece of gotta have two tigs out of Pop Orlando. My partner in that thing doing his thing. Shout out to my partner.
Yes, sir.
Sponsoring that thing, man. Part of that in the build, man.
Man, I'm telling you, it is an honor to finally get y'all on the show. See, they've been so busy that every time we try to do a show, we just can't. We got a million things going on. But when you traveling all over the United States, modeling and things, and you got all this stuff going on, I had to call the manager's manager to get them booked for the show and put in triple request, triplicate, and I don't know how I'm gonna pay the invoice. Y'all want a pen?
I think we're gonna do. I'm gonna do with that Pop Gym pen.
Yeah. And let me just dabble on that before we get into it. Y'all, when you see this pen, I'm telling you, this pen is off the chain.
Let's go.
Picture the logo, and it glows in the dark. I ain't telling y'all nothing else. We are tentative drop date is gonna be on June 1st.
Okay.
And let me go ahead and spill this for those of you who are in the Orlando area. I'm dropping it June 1st. My birthday, my 60th, is actually May 30th.
Come on now.
And so we're gonna have a little get together in Orlando at a secluded place.
My boy Jay.
But definitely dropping the pin. For those of you who want one, once we expose it, we'll get it shipped out to you. Those of you that are local, of course, all my day ones, all my true gemologists, you know, that's just love, man. It just does my heart good to see the movement and the progress that God is allowing me to have on this show.
Yes.
So that being said, I don't, you know, and I had a million questions. Can you imagine Pops at a loss of words? What I want to do, let me lay the foundation for those of you who don't know. And again, thank you so much, all of you who are following, all of you who are tapping in. I see a lot of true both BnB fans and Pops Gems followers in the chat. Shout out to I don't want to start calling names, but shout out to those of you who tune in faithfully week after week.
Come on now.
And I'll say this from my standpoint, this ain't no easy task. For those of you that think it's easy to just get up and speak and do what we do, and I'm not putting us on a pedestal, but you know, this takes some grit. There's a lot of behind the scenes work, and we'll get into that a little bit later about what goes on. But for those of you who don't know, Pop's Perspective, which is the actual name of the show, where I give my perspectives, Pop's Gems was birthed on the BnB show. And so it was over a year ago, almost going on 2 years ago. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say, oh, I'm sorry, wrong song. But about 2 years ago, I was watching and I seen True on the line. And so I jumped in, you know, and I'm talking and, you know, I'm just listening, putting in stuff in the comments. And next thing you know, old True was like, man, we got to get Pops in here. We got to get Pops in here. And from there, it evolved to Pop's Corner. And so it was just Pop's Corner. And, you know, the show would come on. That's when they had the bonnets and the whole nine. And they'd come on. And, you know, as soon as they came on, they talk about the topic. And at the end of the show, Pop's Corner would jump in and, you know, I share a little bit of wisdom, whatever the Lord had placed on my heart on that particular topic. Well, it got to the point where Pop's Corner just it didn't fit. It didn't fit. And so it took a collaboration of minds to come up with Pop's Gems. And so there was birth Pop's Gems. We continued on the show, and then the lightning bolt hit me in the top of my head, and I'm just playing. Then I got the idea to branch off and do Pop's Perspective. Yeah. Now, let me say this in the forefront. Pop's Gems will always be a part of BnB. Whether I'm active or inactive, I'm always, because that's like, you know, you divorcing your mom. You can't do that. Yes, right. The BnB was where I was birthed, where this show was birthed, and they gave me my opportunity, and I'm mad thankful for that, because honestly, had it not been for that, I probably never would have started my own show. I'm a behind the scenes kind of guy. I really don't like to get in front of the camera, but you know what to say. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
No. I put it like this: we gotta thank God and thank the spaces and the areas, man, for that growth, and you know what I'm saying. Thank God for not even just for the birth, but for you wanting to come from being behind the camera. Because this man, hey, we're gonna keep it real, man. This man is quite modest, man. That man, like, I remember many meetings, this man has a man of many talents, you know. So you see the hat on his head, he's a man of many hats for sure. So, you know, to be able to have him come from being behind that camera to be able to sit in front of that camera and give y'all and drop them gems, man, let me tell you something, man. One is an honor and blessing, because when we first started, and he would just come in that chat, and he would just drop stuff, and they were like, oh, wow. I'm like, dang, this man rapping. Listen, I pray he'll be reoccurring, and Lord knows, man, lo and behold,
sure enough. And it was crazy, because there was times where, man, my work schedule would change. I'd be driving home in the car, and they bring me on, and you couldn't see nothing because it was dark in the car when I was driving home. And they always thought I was trying to be the man behind the mask. I could do one of them shows where the witness doesn't want to show his face type thing. Right. And one day I got off early. And I never forget, I came on, it was like, wait, is that Pops with light? We can see him. I was like, yeah, they let me off a little early, but it even going back further than that, let me say this. True and I go way back. We go so far back, like Cadillac, and we down like 4 flat tires, and that's family. And so at the end of the day, you know how family do. We might not agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we still family. And I'm saying that to say that that's what drew me to the actual. That's what started it all. Drew me to the show. I seen True. Had it not been for that, I probably would have kept going. And throughout, I mean, throughout it all, we bounce off of it, and without getting too far. But let me say this: diversity is a wonderful thing, because if everybody thinking the same lines, there's no contrast. And I'm not saying diversity to the extent of being different. You could be on the same page and have a different viewpoint about something.
That's a fact.
And so, there would be times that we would have different viewpoints on different topics and things of that nature. But before all the dust settled, before all the smoke cleared,
Right.
we was cool. We was cool. It was like, we learned a lot of things. So again, let me say this. Let me give you a heartfelt welcome. Thank you so much for taking up your time, Nay and True, for coming and definitely being on the show. We appreciate you. I know y'all got your own show to do, and that within itself is really time consuming. But again, thank you. We're glad you're here. So enough about me talking. I want to ask a couple questions, because I tell you what, I'm going to open it up to True. Let him say what he wants to say is in reference to BnB and Pop's Jams, and then Nate can say her thing, and then we're going to start talking about the show and the behind the scenes of the show. Like I said, this ain't nothing simple. Come on, True. Talk to the people.
Already. So how y'all doing? Of course, Notorious True tapping in. Shout out to all the family, friends that's coming in, tapping in. Like when I say like this thing started, good God, man. When I say it started in the belly somewhere, and I say like I had a great partner that came to me, and we came together, and we was clashing great minds together, and was like, listen, because especially pandemic time. I'm like, I was already kind of slowly doing this very thing, and this prenatal thing was already bubbling up, and it was going on my own. But at the same time, a friend came in life, and we kind of clashed and kind of started off in the same sense. Like we had the same conversation. It was like, oh, listen, we want to start this. We want to do this here. And the attitude, the energy was like, whether no matter how I get, we're going to rather bump our heads. We just want to start. We want to start. We got some things to say. It was almost like, at the police with
And
with Q, like,
WA.
hey, Dre, hey, folks, I got some things to say, man. We got to drop that beat, you know what I'm talking about? And it just grew to, a beautiful endeavor, man. I can say that, man, even I'm not talking about it was ugly, gritty days, you know what I'm saying? But it was definitely grew into a beautiful, child to no, I can't even say adult. We still in adolescence. It's still early in the game. You know what I'm saying? We're still very, very, very early in the game. Still light in the game. But man, it was just a gift. And when it's like more of those energies. When you have an idea, if you have something you feel, don't be too afraid to just say F it. Let's try it. Let's see what goes. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. And if we like it, we like it. If not, the rest. I mean, that's for the most part, the partner I started with, they went on to, great endeavors, of course, other endeavors, but at the same, beautiful endeavors, business endeavors, and has all, the support from the BnB family all the way through. But man, I tell you, it was from beginning to finish, from beginning to now, it's been a wonderful adventure. When anybody asks me about life, I say life is this beautiful roller coaster. You're gonna have them beautiful ups and downs. things, but at the same time, the ups always are more worth it than any of the things that you would go through. I would say to anybody when you're starting something. So
Yeah.
that's how for me.
No doubt. And then as we was journeying through, and it it was like I said behind the scenes to doing a podcast. For those of you thinking about just taking on a podcast, this ain't no joke. This ain't nothing for the weary because there's especially when you're few. I'm not even gonna say just one, but when you're few, you still got marketing, you got advertisement, you got thought planning for the show. You want to be on the cutting edge, so you want to come up with subjects that are going to appeal or are going to be discussion worthy. Not so much appeal because not everybody's going to like what you talk about, but nevertheless, digging in facts and this, that, and the third, and it was growing and it was steady growing, and then we had this girl that would always tune in. I mean, always tune in and just always in the chat and would give mad comment, but never wanted to come on screen. So one day we was like, hey, we need to get Nay in here.
Talk about it. I wanted to leave that for sure, like when she tapped in. Because listen, when I say she was doing supportive and it wasn't just like. What's funny about that? What's the real thing about that too? Big shout out to Nate Nizzle, dog. When I say she be in the chat and I'm talking about heating it and livening it up. I'm talking about hilarious, man. Like just bringing that personality and energy. Was like, man, we need, man. You know what I'm saying? We need to add to the pops, man. This one here this one here is not a joke. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? No, did it? So it was on there. You feel me? So,
but what killed me was you let her tell it, and she came in. She was quiet. She was still there, but she was real quiet. And y'all had a show last week, and I said, I know what it is. See, she a Taurus. And they sit back and they watch. She like the lion, she looking, she prowling, she checking things out. She just reading the room. And so we would say, hey, come on, talk. Well, I'm really not the front of camera person. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, however, look at her now. So Nay, talk to the people. Tell them that's Pop's version now. There's always two sides of the story. That's Pop's version. Tell the people about your encounter with the BnB Crew.
First of all, shout out to Primetime Jay because he is on my type of time. Bro, I'm sitting here like, here we go. Oh, okay, they about to be my turn. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all. I love all of y'all. All of y'all.
All right.
But I be in the comments. I started off in the comments. I love what I do. But for some reason, I guess I'm still working through it. I don't like the spotlight. I'll throw jokes from the back and let y'all laugh. And who said that? No, don't worry about it. Just enjoy that laughing. Keep going. Just don't. Okay? So when they was like, hey, Nate, we need you on the show. I'm like, that's not what I came here for. Even though, yes, that's what I want. Because for those who don't know, some very few people know, this is actually my second podcast. I had another one in the past. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Onyx, did you know that? Onyx didn't even know.
Facts. Shout out to Emerging Black Network. I don't know if they're still out there, but shout out to y'all. They're the ones who gave me my first opportunity to step out there. So with that, like Pop said, this podcasting thing, I love it. It is my baby. I love y'all, but it is not easy. Like you said, the marketing, all that other stuff, and then I want to take it a step further and saying, filling out who, if it's going to be multiple, if it's just you, then you good on your own. But if it's going to be multiple parts, filling out those parts as well. So that way you can have a successful adventure on that journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. Because how to put it? I felt the first podcast, I wasn't able to find the right component, so it didn't work out. This one, for me, started organically. and it's like beautiful. So I'm thankful for you guys pulling me out of the comments to, hey, yeah, this is what you was looking for. You had the idea before, but this is the piece you was looking for, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It does. It does. And
So yeah.
I think that excuse me, I think that there's a complexity, just as big of a complexity when it's just one person than when there's multiple hosts. Me personally, um, and y'all that been following the show, I've had a lot of guests and everything. So there was always a dialogue. And when you have somebody that's on screen with you, they can offer the yin to the yang, or they can have conversation. And it does more. Blunts and Bonnets and Pops Gems are different, but they have a lot of similarities. The only real difference is I don't have a co-host. And sometimes when you go solo and you're dealing with a subject and there's no feedback, you kind of just drop, the knowledge that you want to drop, and you don't know what's going to, how it's being received. And the thing that made to me, the thing that made Blunts and Bonnets super successful was that sometimes the comments was just as hype as the conversation on the screen. So we trying to read the comments, we trying to talk about what was on the screen, and Nay would just constantly, she was the comment hype girl. She had it wired, and it was good because it sparked other people. And so when you're dealing with a show, there was times that we didn't know the topic until that day. And I know that's just the way it worked out. And so it was really, really impromptu. But then there was times that we knew what we was going to do, so they had more plan. But I think that what really makes the show, and we're talking about just podcast, is the chemistry that you have. Even when you bring on a guest, there has to be some kind of decorum so that it doesn't look like you're arguing. You have to be able to discuss things and have a dialogue. And Bloods and Bonnets came out with so many different topics, and we was trying to be cautious of time. It ended up going to Zoom sessions. Excuse me. And Zoom sessions were lasting hours on end. Cozy Lifestyle, I don't know if in the building, but Cozy would jump in and she'd give her 2 cents, and Jay Reynolds would they give her 2 cents, or whoever the guest was. And it just wasn't enough time, because imagine 3 or 4 hosts, or even 2 and 3 hosts, and then you have a Miss Cleo pop on the show. Well, everybody had their questions, and everybody had their particular things that they wanted to know about the individual. And they've had, man, all kind of superstars on the show. I've had guests on the show, and the difference between me was I was the only one asking the questions. But with Blunts and Bonnets, there was like 3 or 4 of us, and then if I came in, and so that being said, it would bleed over into Zoom sessions. And you talking about getting on at what, 8 o'clock, not getting off till 11:30.
Sometimes
But longer. But the thing was that it was good dialogue. It was information that people wanted to talk about, and that's one thing I'll say. In doing a podcast, you have to know what your intent is, and what is it that you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to educate the people? Are you trying to motivate the people? Are you trying to give revelation to the people? We talk about topics, and we got some people in here that follow us religiously, for sake of the word. And when I say us, I mean both shows, because they have a lot of similarities and a lot of topics that are discussed. They don't know who to turn to, or they don't have the answers, or you can't just ask anybody about anything. And so there was some serious topics on the show that some people would have been like, that's crazy. But no, to some people, they wanted to know about that. And so my question, and it don't matter what order y'all go into, my question would be, what motivates you to find the topics for your shows? I mean, do you sit down and powwow together, or do you just take turns come up with ideas, or what is it that you do that brings up your show topics?
Oh, great question.
Yeah, ladies first. You know, ladies
I
first.
knew it.
Ladies
Here we
first.
go. For me, dope question pops, but the topics for me they come from real life. Like I may have went through something that day. It's like what the? Okay, you know what? With that situation, let me because me, I journal. I write a lot. I have
Okay.
books everywhere, so that helps me. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I talk about that topic with other people, I can get, for me, I can get other perspectives. Because right now, especially at the top, if whatever happened set me off, and I'm ready to, like, you know what? Let me talk to somebody. Let me ask somebody else, how would they handle the situation? Is how I look at it. So, and I just I got a whole bunch of books. So I would just throw out the topic to best. Like, hey, what do you think of that? And it's cool with it. If not, I'll just save it for another time because I'm not gonna throw it away. It'd be for me. It'd be in a vault. So
Already.
that's how I come up with my topic.
Already.
Real life
Hey,
stuff.
man. Hey, man. As a fact, I say for me, and it's also in the same aspect, but these were all like, I mean, and this is like real life. That's why the authenticity of BnB is very, very strong of it, because in the real sense, these were besides just real life things, these were already conversations I were having with certain people. Like we would have these conversations behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, or behind before there was. These were conversations that were being had even before the show. You know what I'm saying, the show is actually brought up, or any of those things. These conversations were being had, and this is how we were speaking outside of the thing. So it's like, okay, well, let's carry this to this, because this is a very, not besides it being a hot topic, because whether a popular topic or not, in these conversations, these were things that were honestly, like when I say in real life, like my sense of therapy, our sense of coming together and getting an understanding of healing. These healing conversations, or gems, or just getting some information that you might not have received on a regular, or if you go to another show or these like that you're not going to really receive. You're going to get something that's going to cultivate anything else. But these conversations were already cultivated, and these are on the minds and hearts of people that are really out here living this life, man. We're really out here in these things. When we have things called like we would have subjects called like frenemies and stuff like that. These are, by the way, big shout out. That was actually an idea that came from us too, by the way. Named Nizzle, yeah. I'm gonna put the spotlight where the spotlight stand at. But in realness, in a real time factor, we also, like all of us, I'm pretty sure, has had a person or a few people in their lives that were actually frenemies. You know what I'm saying? I've had those in my life, and it's crazy because I'll say it like this: every time we'll do a subject, and it's like I feel like it's right on time. Literally right before the show, or right in that week of the show, we'll go through something of that factor where it kind of opens our eyes. Like, you know what? That is correct. This is this is a good time. This is a needed conversation, because this is good God. This is what we're dealing with in real life. So just the authenticity is because of this is what we really do. This is our real heart. This is coming from the heart. This is coming from our real spot, our real soul, real conversations with people. You feel me?
And
What about you, man?
that's what when and mind you, let me say this: the branch off wasn't a separation. The branch off was because I felt led to. There was some other topics that I wanted to dive into, and I wanted to expand, because at one point we was Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and we was covering the whole week, and there were some topics that of course I wanted to speak on, and not that it wouldn't be on Blunts and Bonnets, but the vocation I served in Blunts and Bonnets was at the end, come in, give the wisdom drop, etc., etc. Of course, if we went to the Zoom, this, that, and the other. I had an opportunity to host a couple of shows, but it made me hungry for more time, and I'm just keeping it transparent. And so I said, well, you know what, I'm going to do mine, but that doesn't mean that I'm never going to be with Blunts and Bonnets. I'm always going to be there, because again, that's where I originated. And so when you say that, the authenticity of it is, I discuss topics that a lot of people were either they were scared to talk about or didn't know who to talk to about. And so we can go back. I mean, it's what, 7 months now, and I'm coming up on, I think we right around 95 show, almost about to hit 100 on my 100th show. And
So,
and you talk about average. I mean, and True will tell you, even they'll tell you, there was times where I was in the hospital, and I was like, no, I got to tune in. It's Tuesday. They said, sir, I said, just close the door because I got to get on the show. But when you got that kind of magnetism to people, not just Pops for wanting to be on the show, but when you got that magnetism to people, people are hungry for knowledge. And the thing is you can't just talk to anybody about everything. Go back. I don't want to start calling out topic names, but go back on each show and you'll see we touched on some serious topics. I mean, I just did a series on being toxic, and I dealt with people, family, workplace, the whole nine. And there's been similar shows. I mean, there's been shows on Blunts and Bonnets that we talked about, man, that normal people just it's not a normal conversation. And some people would even say it's taboo or you shouldn't talk about that. But you know what? Enough of gatekeeping with knowledge. That's what I don't like, is that when you got a wealth of knowledge that'll help somebody and you want to gatekeep it, you worried about what people are gonna say. Well, I can say this very boldly, Pops Gems, like I tell y'all every week, if you don't like what I said, tune in next week, I'll say something else, but I'm not gonna bite my tongue about it. You know what I'm saying? And when I have a show and I deal with it, we just got to agree to disagree if you disagree with me. But trust and believe, you know what I'm saying? And that by no means was that, everything was cool with Blunts and Bonnets. I wanted more. I wanted to be able to have more time. And so, it was that. But then I learned stuff. And this is where I post y'all. It's not easy. I'm sure you'll agree. Every week you got to stay on the cutting edge. You got to have. It's like coming from coloring books to clip art to pictures and now movies, because everybody had to step their game up to do their advertising, and plug the field, and you gotta put in work. People don't know about you if you don't let them know about you. And I discovered, I was like, man, this 24/7, this all every day of the week. You got to post. You finish the show, you got to post that one, and then you got to get ready for the next show. And that being said, what drives y'all to continue? What and individually answer, what is it about just doing the podcast that keeps you going?
dope question.
Ladies.
Me? Okay, good. Okay. For me, for one, for me, this is when I speak to other people and have different conversations, it's like a form of therapy to me. I'm pretty sure Bess could agree as well. Like, it's like a form of therapy to me. So that's one, meaning hopefully what I'm saying to others, or explaining to others from my perspective, I pray that it heals you as well, or you learn something positive from what I'm speaking. So that's one thing. So I'm coming back, which is like Pop says, I'm the quiet one. So I'm like a sponge. I love knowledge. Like Pop says, people want to get knowledge. I'm one of them. So y'all looking at me, I'm looking at y'all. I can't really see y'all, but I'm looking at y'all too. Like, it's like, hey, help me help you. Hey, Kevin, help me. And I'm trying to help you. So that's one thing. The second thing, I'm trying to wrap this up real quick. Second thing is, this is one of my dreams. So, but for whatever reason, I don't know why, I'd be like nervous. I'm like, man, why are you nervous? You done did this how many times? How many times? I don't know. I guess I'm still working through that. But I'm going after my dreams, and hopefully it inspires or sparks somebody to do theirs, if that makes sense. So, and it's crazy because after the show, I'm hyped. I'm like, girl, what were you scared of? I'm ready for the next one. So that's my motivation. Okay, let's get it. Let's go. So I feel like I'm like, if that makes, I pray I'm making sense to y'all. Please let me know if I'm making sense to y'all. So that's my second factor, that I'm still chasing after my dreams or going after my dreams. And I pray that it inspires y'all to do the same thing. So third thing, the last thing is I like talking to y'all. I do. I felt that I rock with y'all. So I'm coming. Hey, I'm checking in. How y'all doing? Y'all coming and checking on me. I'm checking on you. So it kind of all ties into one. Help me, help you.
Mm-hmm.
Each one teach one. And y'all heard that? You heard that? I added something to that. I'm getting
Okay.
y'all this. Each one teach one to go back and reach one. And I'm leave that there.
I like that.
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
that. Look, my dog got some gems too, man. They niggas gonna
Yeah.
drop for the
And then
gonna drop a gem or two. You feel me?
she the gemologist and been in the vault grabbing
Yeah,
a couple
so
things.
yeah, said don't play with my
No,
dog. See,
no,
therefore,
not at
you feel
all.
me?
Not at all. The
I say,
student has become the teacher.
come on now, come on now. Yo, or been the
Shout out
hidden
to
teacher the whole
Seasons and
time. Talk
Brooke
to me.
and Brooke in
Shout
the
out.
house. Shout out to them. Glad they joined.
Wow.
True. Come
Hey,
on, talk to the people.
all right, so I mean, for me, I'm gonna be honest, man. It was, I mean, anybody that honestly knows me and like really, really knows me, I'm a very motivated, driven person since from jump. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, what keeps me going is the passion. I like the passion, the dream for it, she dang near covered all of like most of the dang section. I like that there, man. You know what I'm talking about? But and in entirety, but it was these were like I said, these were these conversations already happening. So, but it was just what keeps me going in a sense is this is already a real life occurrence. This is a real life thing, and this is just the authenticity. So, in real retrospect, it was the passion and the love and the drive to express myself, to express where we're coming from as a collective mind, as a mind, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like when you're tapping in with people and you realize, oh wait, I'm not, alone. There's a community of people that either understand or feel some way in the sense the same way that I do. And like you said, it's like talk. It's like your therapy, like my therapy for real, for real. So it's like I'm like talking to like we're our healing conversations and our therapists within each other. Like, man, look. So it's almost like when you're going through a situation, you go sit down with your boys or you sit down with P Gems or Pops, you know what I'm saying, and your peoples, and they're like, yo, man, listen, I'm this is going on. Here's what my standpoint on it. How do you feel about it? And you're having these conversations, and when you are speaking with people that I'm not saying they're like-minded, but they speak life into you, and and the desire to speak life into other people is another huge factor of why this is being done and continuously with a consistency. When someone speaks that life into you, and we can all kind of agree, I believe we can all agree on this, and for real, when someone is speaking back and we're in your standpoint and speaking life into your situation, after that conversation, I can guarantee you that you'll leave that conversation with an uplifting feeling. It's a feeling like, man, you know what? I can fight another day. You know what? I wasn't crazy. I can do this. Yeah. I was a little scared about it, you know what I'm saying? Just like she said, you still, no matter what you're doing, when you have a passion, that perfectionist in us all, there's a little perfectionist in us all when you're honing your craft and doing whatever you're doing, whatever it is you're doing. Right before show day, or right before a couple minutes right before you go live. Even myself, I can,
Mm-hmm.
right before I go live, there's that little butterfly right there, like, all right.
Yeah, and I thought I was the only one. Listen and look, for those of you that know me, I mean, I got over 20 years speaking in front of people, so I'm no stranger. I'm no stranger to public speaking. But every time I got that nervousness because what got me is I don't want to be accountable for false information, and there's one thing to have an opinion, but without getting too biblical, you got to give account for every word that you say, and especially when you got people in here that will come on the show and is still coming on the show that are hurt, that you know, you don't know what their mental state is. You know, you don't know where they're at. And through, I look at it like, you know, there's a couple things that pop out. Dish Nation, in a similarity. 106 in Park, for those of you remember when they used to have that, and they had different hosts of different things that people would they be gravitate to. Oh man, it's 8 o'clock. You know, it's Tuesday. There will be times when, especially, I remember one time we changed dates for something, and it was like it felt weird. It felt weird that day not being on. And like True and they had both said, you know, when we get together, yeah, we're talking about a subject, but it's like we're coming together, and it's good to be around people that are well wishers, that are positive, you know, people that, you know, they want to help people. My biggest thing is I want to use whatever experience that I've had in my life that would shed light on somebody to either do or not do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not perfect by a long stretch, but maybe some of the things that I've gone through as I share them will help somebody either not go through that same thing and experience the consequences, or make a certain decision based on those consequences. And so I would look forward to the conversations, especially when, you know, with the crew, because we get together. And the funny thing about it is, us three, we're in Orlando. So not only do we fellowship in front of the camera, but we fellowship behind the camera. Like I said, I've been knowing True since the Swag Bandits, before they was even Swag Bandits. Like, you know, True done been in my house, slept on my couch, ate my food, the whole nine. So it was the camaraderie of coming together, and they just fell right in. You know, when you could just talk, and it was good, wholesome conversation. You wasn't putting on the front for nobody. You wasn't trying to press nobody. You just a group of people coming together, talking about a topic. Now, we done had some doozies. Trust. they done had some doozies. But at the end of the day, there was even a genuine, like Nate said, when you get off the show, you still hype, you want to talk about it. And you know, there was after conversations like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. And it caused a unification, if you will. And this was the meeting point. So I say to those people that are looking to start a podcast, or you're looking to do something along these lines, let your motivation be true. Sit down with yourself and decide what it is that you're trying to do. Are you trying to empower people? You trying to give people wisdom? What is it that you're trying to do? Don't just get on here to be seen, because that's like a growth. It'll go away. You know, it'll be hot for a season, but then it'll go away. But true, BnB been going on for years. If I could say that, I mean, I'm sure y'all about the 2-year mark. You know what I'm saying?
We haven't got there yet. That's the funny thing about it. We almost there. We
seems like forever, nigga.
Oh, that's the crazy
I tell you,
part.
don't it? That's one thing I like about, like, saying that, like, you know, where when you bring a presence and people are following, it feels like Team iPhone.
Team iPhone.
I can't help but laugh at. Shout out to my brother Primetime Jay, man.
Jay in the house.
Man, he like my brother for real, man. That man, we do this same thing often. Like, it ain't just a common thing. We do this all thing. But yeah, we've been doing it for, like, you know, like when I think I said we started even the first year. I can say when you done been through so much with your camaraderie of people, like Pastor Jim, you know, beautifully pointed out that, you know, he came through from the you know, around close to the jump, and seeing it going there, it feel like forever. Anybody understand, when you in the thick of things, it'll feel like a year felt like 3 years when you're in the thick of it. You know what I'm talking about? So especially 2024, I don't know how many people feel like during 2024 feel like a little extra 5 years added on to your life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about, like it's just the stuff. But yes, we almost hitting 2 years, man. We almost.
Well, man, listen. That's awesome. Yeah, and shout out to JJ, one of the faithful followers. Even he taps in. Jay got more questions in a little bit, but if you ever want some questions, you can just, you know, Jalen got them questions. He definitely, but he's faithful, and we appreciate him for that. But let me say this. For those of you, like True was talking, time is different when you're in front of a camera, and here's why. Where 60 seconds may not seem like a long time, but drive down the street, turn your radio off, or be listening to the radio and the song stop. After about 10, 15 seconds, you're ready to change the channel. 60 seconds is a lot of dead air. And when you don't have your mindset, your format, because it got to the point where, you know, Tuesday night, Bloods and Bonnets, hey, we come on at 8, 6 o'clock, leave me alone. I got to start thinking about the show. I'm jotting notes. I'm where my mindset is at, because I want to be effective. And so it becomes almost like prime time game time. You know what I'm saying? You was part of a crew, and you was hype, and you're like, all right, let's see what's going to happen tonight. And, it's just like when you go perform, you never know how the crowd is going to act. We never knew how the comments was going to lead things one way or the other. And so there was a lot of excitement, but it is a lot of work. And then when you do it, like from what I'm seeing with True and Nate, when you do it with a passion, it's not work. It's excitement. It's almost where, you feel compelled. Hey, I got to post. Hey, I got to do this. And, hey, the show, we got to keep up the show. Because, you got people out there that are looking to see, they're looking to tune in every Tuesday at 8:30, or every Monday at 8 o'clock. You built up their expectations, and so to keep coming fresh every week, and and then and let me say this: there's been times when you got co-hosts or guests, and at the last minute they drop out, or in IG, we love you, but IG start IGing, and you can't get people in. And then you're stuck, you know what I'm saying? Or you got to guess at the last minute, they can't make it. And now it's prime time. What you going to do? Cancel the show? You can't cancel the show. So you got to get on there. You got to keep it moving. And so the show got to go on. But it's definitely been an uphill climb, but it's fun because if it wasn't challenging and we got what they say lackadaisical, I'm gonna use a big gem. If you get lackadaisical, then you're not on the cutting edge. It's not exciting anymore. We talked about was it last week about the Drake and the Kendrick rivalry. And let me say this to all of you who's following, and don't get mad, but that was what I wanted to use to draw y'all to the show and let you understand that that's the same thing they was doing. They was using a few to draw people because the firehead was going low. And so it wasn't that I was trying to trick people, but I knew it was a hot topic, and then I wanted to be able to kind of shed some light on it. And when you deal with things like that and you want to help people, it's interesting, especially you got a lot of up and coming artists that they both featured on the show, and it gives them a platform to get their music out, and other people can hear about them. You never know who's in the crowd. We didn't know Nate was in there until she started putting stuff in the comment, and look at the gem that was in the comments. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there too that can be detrimental. You could have a great input. You just got to find your niche and work that niche and do it. And like I said, when it becomes a passion, it's not work anymore. I tell them at work, hey, 7 o'clock, I got to go. Why? I got a show to do. And people like, oh, you getting paid? Yeah, I'm getting paid. I'm getting personal fulfillment, and I was just in a position, as y'all can see, I invested in the backdrop, invested in the lights, and we got a theme song. We got the pin coming out. We got the candle coming out.
Go.
And by all means, we're doing this because I want to show back appreciation to the people, but I also want to be on a competitive edge, and a cutting edge. And that's not saying anything about anybody else. This just pops. Those of you that know, that's just me. Matter of fact, when we first started, when I first started on Bloods and Bonnets, I went out and got a bonnet, but Pops ain't got no braids, so I had to let the bonnet go. It didn't look right. But let me ask y'all this. So it's established, it's running. And you know, we ask this question to everybody, so don't be surprised. Where do you see Blunts and Bonnets 5 years from now?
Oh man, I got you. Oh, you know what? Ladies first. I mean, you
I
know, me.
went,
Okay,
went first
okay,
last.
okay, okay. I'll stand in the paint hall. Honestly, because for me, I've been playing the long game for a minute, man. Instant gratification ain't really been a thing for me. I've been about for a long game, so you'd be surprised that a lot of these things that's even happening now I had kind of seen years back. So for me, I'm gonna be honest. I like when I would say okay, like when people say, other people say they're bringing up, blunt spots. To them, they're speaking as a podcast. I see a show. I see its own networks. I see it on its own brand, its own app, its own network. Is bringing in a collective and a community of people doing tours and going to meeting people, and having those and meeting them in person more. So when I say tours, I mean that thing where the people, some of the people in those comments, they are coming. These are people are coming from different areas, and you're meeting and going to meeting those areas and having those collective conversations with a good collective crowd of people, and not just dropping gems, but connecting hearts, man. So I see this expanding further and further. I mean, to the full mounting still. I embrace the best of what this life and what this universe has for me and the BnB fan and the BnB show entirely. So I see it being to the top tier of the best version of itself entirely, man. Entirely.
All right,
Entirely.
Nay.
So, and I'm glad you said that because that actually makes sense for me. Because for me, like I said, this was not my first podcast. It's actually my second one. So when I had the idea, the thought of it, it was like, okay, Nay, I don't know what, how to put it. I don't know. I know I'm shy to talk to people, but I know I have a message to get out there. How do I do that? If that makes sense. So I don't know. I know there's a message that needs to get out to people, but God, please send me the right components to help me find the way to get that out there. So him saying what he said, he sees this going to tours, meeting people, because that's exactly what I'm feeling, but I didn't know how to that piece. Ro had that piece because I had a previous host with the first podcast and that didn't work out because that wasn't the right puzzle piece. So if that makes sense, the pieces that I was missing, he was just able to let you know where we see this. Now I know because I was still thinking, hey, okay, I just know this is therapy for me. And I love y'all and I'm talking to y'all family. And I don't know how far we going, but we going to keep
Therapy
going.
tours, dog.
Now,
Therapy tours. I'm talking
see what I'm
therapy
saying?
tours,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Therapy tours.
Bro just told y'all.
Yep.
I know.
Tours.
I found out what y'all found out. Ain't that some good?
Well, Jalen put it in the comments. Jalen said he wouldn't call it a show. He called it a place of home where you ain't got to be scared to speak your mind, learning about a lot about everything and what's going on in life. And that's the
Right.
truth. Pops Gems, 5 years from now, I want to be. I mean, my ultimate. Let me give you my ultimate, and this ain't changed from day one. Somebody gonna watch this podcast and want me to host a show.
Let's go.
Come on
So
now.
that's
Come
just.
on
I'm just
now.
waiting for the right one to watch it. And we've
Coming.
had some greats come through both shows, man. Some greats. But 5 years from now, we're looking to expand to YouTube. We're looking to put the audio on Spotify. Good clips, wholesome conversations. We're definitely looking for a co-host, and y'all pray with me on that when I got somebody in mind. But the thing about it is that you gotta have an ear to the ground, and you gotta be compassionate in a sense. There's a lot of people out there hurt, and a lot of the conversations that I had bring healing, whether you know it or not. And that's one thing that I learned as a speaker. You could be your own critic and say you didn't do well. But if one person took away something that changed their life for the better, then you accomplish a mission. And the thing about it is you never know who you touched. Like I've said before, that drop of water will make a splash, but you don't know how far that ripple will go. And through all the laughter and through all the, I mean, because there's been some serious shows, you know, where it was just, you know, super serious, and then there's been some comical shows and things of that nature. But my mission for Pop's perspective actually is to continue to inform, motivate, or revelate. You know, something that we talk about may give somebody a revelation and ignite them to do, you know, what they want to do. Some be motivated. Some people are just getting information. Those that have a podcast, you know, maybe listen and say, you know, ain't no new thing under the sun. So if you see something that's working for somebody, you want to glean it and make it your own. You know, ain't no gatekeepers on ideology. You know what I'm saying? There's a million different types. If you like apple pie, there's all kind of apple pies. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't say there's only one apple pie, and that's the only way, because everybody's gonna put their own stilo on it. But nevertheless, it's still apple pie. And so when you're dealing with these podcasts, especially with people, I feel like we're people orientated. It's more so we're here, we're having conversations, we're bringing a conversation to you. Let's talk about it type scenario. And that's even the motivation for what I got coming up called the Couch Chronicles. And that's where I'm going to enhance the studio where we can bring people in live. We're going to be taking phone calls on the air, but overall is to help people overcome challenges, give people a way to vent, give people a way to ask questions that they may not normally ask. You might have, we've had other people in the chat that'll ask questions that they would not reveal or say out in public, but they'll put it in the chat because they want an answer, and they'll be able to be blessed by that answer. And so for all of you who have tuned in, man, thank you. Can't thank you enough. Continue to tune in. There's a lot of more in store for Blunts and Bonnets and Pop's Gems, Pop's Perspective. Y'all ain't seen the last of us. We're gonna be working, doing some things, supporting one another, and that's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, we all we got.
Come
you know
on,
what I'm
man.
saying? We all we got. So
I said it earlier.
Family
I said it.
BnB.
we all we got. You know, BMM. The most important part is not black or mafia; it's family.
Family, baby.
But we might have to do a show and discuss that whole series. That was kind of crazy. But anyway, that was season 3. You know, they set it up for season 4. But anyway, for those of you that are watching and just know that this ain't for the faint at heart, because again, it's every week, you know, or however you do your show. It's consistency. It's staying on the cutting edge. It's, you know, that both of these two people are they're talented to do graphics. You know, I've been dabbling in graphics in a while. So when you do them posts, you gotta make them, you know, appealing, and so that the people don't, oh, here they go posting again. You want to stay effective. That's the word I'm looking for. So I personally, I want, from Pop's Gems and Pop's Perspective, I salute BnB Blunts and Bonnets. Y'all doing a wonderful job. Y'all picked up the ball, kept it rolling, keep running. You know, every now and again we'll sit by the wayside and talk about things, but anything that we can do, and I say we, I speak for the show. Of course, you got my support. Pop's Gems is always going to be a part of Blunts and Bonnets. That's my birthplace. Y'all can't kick me. You might have kicked me out of your house, but I got a key.
Well, how I look at that, man, I've always looked at it from the jump, like because, you know, even when you were saying that we had to do your thing, I've always looked at it, like I said, like an expansion. You know what I'm saying? And my, you know, our past partners, you know, we talk about it, but in a real sense, it was just like, no matter where it's going, that's a, you know, whether, even if it's said or not, the very same mission and the motives are the same. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the motives are the same. Yes, and when the motives are the same, no matter what, like kind of like how one of my aunts used to say, no matter where you go, there you are. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go today, you're gonna it's gonna be an expansion. So even if said or not, whatever, it's still we know where the core is. Even if you go to Timbuktu and you don't even mention BnB, that's not a concern, because the motive is the same, as in the motive is to touch a heart, speaking from the heart, you know what I'm saying, to have those healing conversations. So the original, I would, you know, if you got a business middle or your business statement or your original key mission statement to anybody, if that's the same, no matter where they go, when you branch off or when you expand, I don't really like calling it branching off. I like calling it expanding. It's
Okay.
expansion. Not saying like it's a whole back. Expansion of an idea. Expansion of a mind. Expansion of a intuition or a motive. You know what I'm saying? Where hey, it's gonna be done. The same mission gonna be done. We still expanding. He, you know, Pop Jim, he's his own entity, and yes, we grew, you know, amazingly. Thank God that we were able to help cultivate the startup. But at the same time, it is amazing to when they him expanding, because he has his own mind. He has his own way of speaking, his own way of dropping gems, and those gems, and to where whoever is listening on that side as well is getting what is needed, is getting a healing conversation, getting that, you know, that the fulfillment and the same motive that as you would if you was over here at BnB. So regardless of however, you know, wherever it goes, that expansion, I just, like I said, expansion. I see expansion. It's expansion of an idea, and it goes to the furthest amount of extent. You can, I make it touch over here, but I may not can go touch all the way over here like Pops, you know what I'm saying, Pops Gems can, you know what I'm saying? So at that same aspect, he's touching people that we may not have conversations on a regular with, you know what I'm saying? And bringing a perspective that you might not have realize that you might need to hear from this aspect, you know. So man, listen, I think it's abundant. We talking abundance over here, baby. It's abundance. It's a whole abundance energy, baby.
Yeah, it's definitely it's like, and I know this, some people say it in a bad way, it's like burning the candle at both ends. And mind you that any topic that Pops has can always be on Bloods and Bonnets and vice versa. It's just we're targeting, or we're attracting different demographics, but
Yes.
it's the same thing. We're just reaching more people, like you said, expansion, and I agree 100% with that. You said constant elevation causes expansion. You know, the more you think about it, you know, you don't want to just have one restaurant. You want to put a restaurant on every block who's, you know, in the city. You want to have one in every city. You want to multi spread your people. So, you know, again, thank you so much for giving us your time. I'm appreciative. I know we've been talking about podcasts and talking about those things, but man, I miss those deep down conversations.
Man.
Trust me, I'm gonna be in the chats with Bloods and Bonnets. Y'all ain't gotta bring me in. Just let me do a name. Let me do a name.
and all those is appreciated, man. Definitely, for real, man. Definitely appreciate it. Oh yeah. Can't tap out without letting know. Yeah, y'all definitely got to come tap in and see about us on Tuesday.
So yeah. That being said, listen, I'm gonna let them tell it, but they'll be on tomorrow night. Tell them what your topic is gonna be.
Be careful who you defend.
Be careful who you defend.
Be careful who you defend, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be a beautiful, glorious conversation, man.
Yes.
This conversation, it's needed, man. You know, and that's another thing. I want to say this on the sideline before I do this. Saying that's another. I would say another motivation too. I remember said it, but one of another motivation factor, dog, is, you know, you ever had, you know, get so saturated with the same thing, everybody eating tacos on Tuesday, and you're just like, you know, I might want a cheeseburger. I'm tired of tacos.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing the same rhetoric, the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me big you up. A huge shout out to Pit Parts Gems for like when they discussed the Drake and Kendrick beef, and they went and they expanded on something and speaking on a thing that not many. And I will say this, not many, like, you know, it's not the popular way that they approached it. You know, everybody is doing it the same way, all concerned in that. And he really dropped the gem to, you know, listen, it's time to let's move these shades. Let's open some eyes, man, like, and understand what is being and what is in front of us here, you know, from a perspective that you really might need and appreciate. So I
Appreciate that.
definitely
Appreciate that.
bring I bet everybody want to hear the same thing all 24/7. It sounds like everybody agreeing doing the same thing. Like, okay, well, can somebody be real for a second?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
somebody
right,
can
right.
somebody come? Can
Right.
somebody be
Let's
honest for a
keep it
second?
100. Let's keep it a
If we
buck.
ain't gonna
Just
do
keep it
anything,
100 for a
continue.
second. Can
For
we
real.
just be real and talk? Like, so man, that one final factor. And when I say Pop Sims, man, I am first of all honored to even be here. You know what I'm saying? And it's an honor to even be having these convos, man. I'm just grateful that you finally got the chance. You finally want to step from besides the comments and behind the camera, because you've been dropping gems on us.
It's
Said I have been honored. Like you
been.
said, we go back to the way back when I was sleeping on them couches, eating, enjoying them egg rolls. Listen, man, yeah, that's another man. I can't pass that to y'all, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. That them egg rolls, I'll be telling him he need to go ahead and put them on sale. But that's neither here nor
That's
there.
That's
But at the
another.
same time, man, like he was dropping them on us and giving us those for a long time, man. For giving those, I would tell you for real, man. I went back when you would drop those gems on me back when back in the days, especially the knucklehead days, I'll call it. And I would take those and collect those. Like, dang, I don't know. Nobody realized he just dropped a gem on our
well,
head. Yeah, put
and
this in my
that's just like I said, if that's a part of you, then you just get in front of a camera and do the same thing, and
exactly.
that's what makes it so real. It's not that yeah, they got people that act. I'm not acting. This is
Right.
me. This 100%. This is what you're gonna
Mhm.
get. And if it resonate with you, good. If it don't resonate with you,
Keep scrolling.
and so be it. One thing that I always looked to Nay, she never pushed the feminine issue in unless it was necessary. When she gave her comments, she gave her comments and it dealt with the subject matter. Now there was things that dealt with, gender, and of course she spoke on that, but her opinion when she speaks on things, it comes from a place of either learning learning or have learned. And again that goes with the topic. So, the chemistry, that's what I think uh really makes a show is the chemistry. Y'all are best friends, and
Wow.
I'll, so to say that is to say, not so much that because everybody has their challenges, even through anything, and any friendship has to be tried to be true.
Thanks.
But by the same token, the interest was focused on the show in that regard. And so, when you put your mind to things and you see them in coming forth, and they'll tell you, man, I told them, I said, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And with the theme songs and the candles and the backdrops and stuff, that's nothing to make anybody else look any less or anything like that. That's just me. That's just Pops. I said if I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go. I've always been in the sound, those that know me. So getting equipment and stuff was nothing. And the stuff that I have is just things that the way I do. True will tell you, we went to a studio, took the camera, we was shooting pictures and stuff in there with the
Right.
swag banners. We went to Fort Lauderdale.
Well,
Matter of fact,
but
he drove the car back that night because I was too tired. Still
straight
got
from
them tolls.
straight from a trip too. That's real love right there,
That's
man. Shout out my
go.
brothers, man. Shout out
Yeah.
my brothers, man.
So much success to Bloods and Bonnets. May you keep going until there is no more things called podcasts or what have you. May nothing that you expand to do be withheld from you. You got Pop's Gems 100% support, Pop's perspective. We're moving up bigger and better things. Now, tomorrow night, 8:30, don't forget, tune in to the Bloods and Bonnets. And then don't forget, my birthday is May 30th. Pops will be 60. The Pops Gems pin is coming, is dropping. Went through Piz the season. For seasons, he and I collaborated. We designed the pin, and he getting that work done, and that'll drop for the elite. It'll drop May 30th on my birthday. I had to do it on my birthday. But for those that are going to come out and celebrate with us on the 1st, that are in the Orlando area, stay tuned. I'll let you know exactly where that's going to be. Come hang out with Pops. I'm not going to see 60 again, but come hang out with Pops and kick it for a little while. We got a live DJ where we're going to be. and it's an 80s theme. We're going back, thus the Kango. But after May 30th, the pin that you'll see up here, we say Pops Gems.
Let's
So
go.
thank you. Shout out to all of you who tuned in, all my gemologists. Feel free to follow me. That don't mean you got to stop following Bloods and Bonnets. You can see I'm on a whole different night and did that strategically so that we wouldn't cross paths with one another. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you that thought it not robbery to give your time, thank you to my guests, my brother and my sister in this fight. Now we joined on the internet and we reaching out to help motivate people. Much love. Until next week. Now we got to go out with this, and the reason I'm going out with this song is because.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was trying not to interrupt you. You saw me. I was like this. I know you saw me do that. Okay.
But I got a delay. That's why. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just want to say I am proud of you. Proud of you. I feel like you said you was birthed from BnB. I feel like a proud mama. So seeing all the new technology things that you're working with the posting and all the things that you're learning and adding to your podcast, go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Like you said, you're not kicked out. You got a key. I am proud of you because it takes a lot to do this. Like you said, it is not easy. I'm with you. So appreciate you. And my birthday is the 20th. I was saying he's gonna go. I'm sorry, I'm a Taurus. She gonna come out. So
I know when your birthday is. Remember last year for your birthday? You forgot about last year? She forgot already?
You forgot about this year because you skipped May 20th. You said May 30th. I'm sitting here like.
See, if it was a surprise, you blew it. How do you know we didn't have any surprise for you? And next week is the 20th. It's on a Monday. See, you messed that up.
I didn't mess anything up.
Let them know.
Listen,
love you.
I'm gonna say I rep the month of May. May rocks. Those May people out there, my May babies. Again, to all the gemologists, and then I'm playing this song special because she disappeared on us. But Miss Cleo, she gonna go take us out.
Hey.
She said, "Talk nice to me." I want to thank all of y'all that tuned in. This Pops Gems, Pops Perspective. My special guest, the BnB Crew. Tune in tomorrow night, 8:30. See y'all next week.
Talk to me.
I attack. Ooh, better talk nice if you're talking to me.